We are the Gujarat Technological University. Since its inception over a decade ago, GTU has been empowering young and curating minds to realize their true potential. Over 4 lakh inspired students are enrolled with one of the premier academic universities in India. With more than 450 affiliated colleges in its fold operating across 5 zones of the state, GTU, the International Innovative University, your place to move forward.
Hello everyone, myself Pradeep Patel, working as assistant professor in Vidyadeep Institute of Engineering and Technology. Today we are learning a new subject, Fundamental of Machine Design. In Fundamental of Machine Design, we are learning Unit 1, that is of Basic of Stress and Strain. Okay. So simply, stress and strain is a very important parameter in machine design. So we have to learn basics of stress and strain, how it will affect your machine design components. Okay, so materials are generally classified into uh, elastic material, plastic material, rigid material. Elastic material are these types of materials. After applying load, it will regain its originals. Plastic material, when we are applying load, after removal of load, it will regain its permanent deformation. That is called plastic material. Rigid material, when we are applying load and then there is no change in its body, that is called rigid material. Okay, so that is the concept of all these three: elastic, plastic and rigid material. So in practice, no material is absolutely elastic, nor plastic, nor rigid. So we attribute these properties when the deformation are within certain limits. So generally we handle a member in its elastic range. So structural member are generally designed so as remain in elastic condition under the acting of working loads. Okay, so resistance to deformation. How we can resist the deformation when we are applying load? It will there is a change in its shape. Okay, so a material when subjected to external load, system undergo a deformation. So let us take one example. If we are considering one body here, okay. So if we are applying load externally, what will happen? There is a change in its body like that. Okay, so when we are applying load externally, there is an increase in its length. That means increase in length. That means deformation is just like in changing in its dimension. So against this deformation, the material will offer resistance, which tend to prevent the deformation. So when we are applying load, there is a sum of the internal stresses are set up. Okay, so what they can do? Okay, they are acting opposite to this force, external force. Okay, so they are just resisting this deformation, but they can sometimes resist the deformation. Then there is a deformation will take place. So this resistance offered by the material as long as the member is forced to remain in deformed condition. So this resistance is offered by the material by the virtue of its strength. That is the main important things. Virtue of its strength. Okay, so strength is a how you can define strength. The ability of a material to resist the deformation. That is simply called its strength. Okay, so in the elastic range, the resistance offered by the material is proportional to the deformation brought by material by on the material by external loading. Okay, that is depending upon external loading. So the material will have the ability to offer the necessary resistance when deformed within the certain limit. A load member remain in equilibrium when the resistance offered by the member against the deformation and applied load are in equilibrium. Okay, so when the member is in is incapable of offering the necessary resistance against the external load, the deformation will continue, leading to the failure of the member. Same way, if you are, what is your strength of human body? You can lifting the weight up to 100 kg, maximum 100 kg. After 100 kg, it is incapable. Okay, so here the external force is more, then it can't stop deformation. So there is a deformation, that means change in the body of a material. Now we are learning the concept of stress. Okay, generally stress. So generally stress is defined as a force of resistance per unit area offered by the body against the deformation. Okay, so this is called stress. If we are considering one body here, okay, so shape of the body is like that. Shape of the body is like that. So shape of the body is like that. So if we are applying load in this area, if you are applying load in this area, then so that is a what is the resistance? Force of resistance. Force of resistance will occur in this plane. Okay, in this plane. Okay, so if we are applying tensile load, then there is a compressive resistance. Okay, resistance force is compressive. Okay, so resistance per unit area. Unit area, that means if you are applying load, then you have to consider this much cross section area. If you are applying load in this direction, then you have to consider this much area. Okay, so stress is equal to force acting on the body per cross-sectional area of the body, okay, on which your force is act. Okay, so the in SI unit the stress is usually expressed in Pascal. So 1 Pascal is about 1 Newton per meter square. Okay, and generally you can also express Newton per mm square, kilonewton per mm square, or kilonewton per meter square. Okay, so one thing come in the picture here is a force by area. So this is the same formula for pressure also. Okay, so what is the difference between stress and pressure? So stress is force of resistance per unit cross-sectional area. Okay, so this stress may be tensile or compressive, but pressure is always compressive in nature. So that is the difference between stress and pressure. Okay, so now, the external force acting on the body is called load. Whatever the external force acting on the body, that is called load. So, load applied on the body while stress is reduced in the material of the body. Okay. So, which are the different types of loads are there? So, here they have classified a different load: dead load or steady load. A load is said to be dead or steady load when it does not change in magnitude as well as direction. If you are applying continuously load of 5 kilonewton, you are not changing your load, then that is called dead load or steady load. Then live or variable load. A load is said to be live or variable when it changes continuously. So generally load will continuously change. Sometimes 5 kilonewton, 10 kilonewton, 100 kilonewton. So it continuously variable. That is called live load. Suddenly applied load or shock load. A load is said to be suddenly applied or shock load when it's suddenly applied or removed. Just like taking one example. Okay, if you have to stop the moving of the vehicle, what you are applying? You are suddenly applying load. Okay, or you are suddenly applying brake. Sometimes you are removing brakes. So suddenly apply load when we are applying brake, that is the example of shock load. Okay, impact load. A load is said to be impact load when it's supplied with some initial velocity. Okay, if you want to break something, you are applying load at a high velocity, then it will break. Okay, so impact load when there is accident. that is a impact load. Okay, so these are the different types of load. Now we are discussing about the strain. What is strain? So when a body is subjected to some external force or load, there is some change in the dimension of the body. The ratio of the change in dimension of the body to the original dimension, that is known as a strain. And main important thing, that is strain is dimensionless. Very important thing, strain is dimensionless. That means strain is not having any unit. Okay, so generally strain is defined as a ratio of change in length to original length, or change in dimension to original dimension. Okay, and your strain is unitless, it is not having any unit. Okay, so they have taken one example here. Okay, so this is one body here. Okay, if they have applying load. Okay, so this is the resisting force. So when you are applying tensile force, resisting force are compressive in nature. Okay, so you can see here. Okay, so this is simply one example of strain. Okay, so strain is equal to delta L by L. That means change in length of the body to the original length. Okay, so this is simply called strain or longitudinal strain. Okay, so this is the basic concept of your stress. Okay, you can see here. You can see here. Okay. Now, what is tensile stress and strain? This is the common point that is to be covered in the same thing. What is tensile stress and strain? When body is subjected to two equal and opposite pull, that means we are stretching. You can see the example here. Pull, two equal and opposite pull. Okay, so that is called tensile load as shown in figure. So then the stress induced in the section is called tensile stress. A little consideration will show that due to the tensile load, there is a decrease in cross-sectional area. When we are stretching, decrease in cross-sectional area and increase in length of the body. Increase in length of the body. That is a main parameter. When you are applying tensile load, there is a change in decrease in cross-sectional area and increase in length. So ratio of the increase in length to the original length, that is known as a tensile strain. In whenever you are applying always tensile load, there must be your strain must be positive. Okay, for length and decrease for cross-sectional area. That is all about tensile stress and strain. Now we are discussing about the compressive stress and strain. So when a body is subjected to equal and opposite push, okay. So we are applying pushing any dimension, okay. So known as a compressive strain. So this stress induced in the section of the body is known as a compressive stress. And a little consideration so the compressive load, there is an increase in cross-sectional area. Increase in cross-sectional area when you are applying compressive load, and decrease in length of the body. So the ratio of the decrease in length to the original length, that is known as a compressive strain. You can see one example here. So they have take one body here, okay, and applying compressive load here. When you are applying compressive load, your resistance force are always tensile, because they tends to resist to increase of your body. So these resistance force are tensile. So this is simply example of compressive stress and strain. Now next, that is the relation between stress and strain, Young modulus, or it is simply called modulus of elasticity. Okay. So Hooke's law. So Hooke's law states that uh, when the material is loaded within elastic limit, not more than it. Within elastic limits, stress is directly proportional to strain. Within elastic limits, stress is proportional to strain. So stress is represented by sigma and strain that is represented by epsilon. So stress sigma is equal to epsilon into E. So this E is called modulus of elasticity or Young modulus. So capital E is equal to sigma by E is equal to, we are putting the value of sigma, we know that P by A, and epsilon, that is delta L by L. So we can put value and we are getting the expression PL by A E. So E is constant of proportionality known as the Young modulus of elasticity. Its unit is always expressed in gigapascal or giganewton per mm square or kilonewton per mm square. Hooke's law hold good for tension as well as compression. So his Hooke's law is applicable for both the cases. Okay, so that is the main important thing. So by using this formula, you can solve some of the example how you can find out if you have given the area and load, then you can easily find out the stress. If you have given the change in length, then you can easily find out the uh, your epsilon strain, or you can directly find out the length from here also. Okay, so this is the basic concept for simple stress and strain.